This video provides a brief explanation about what an environmental questionnaire is and why it's required. GeoForward is a nationwide provider of environmental engineering and due diligence services. For more information, please find us online. An environmental questionnaire is a preliminary task in the environmental due diligence process by lenders and other information seekers. The questionnaire screens the environmental hazards of a property undergoing any transaction, and it consolidates the known facts of a property up front for a basic level of contamination and health risk valuation. Typically, the questionnaire takes place in the pre-loan qualification process, and the form also applies during the sales and title transfers. Ultimately, any possibility of contamination brought to light by this questionnaire could lead to the ordering of a transaction screen assessment, desktop environmental report, or a Phase 1 environmental site assessment. The environmental questionnaire is only a basic screening tool for the loan process. This is not a comprehensive ESA report. Unlike Phase 1 report, the questionnaire does not require certification by an environmental professional. Instead, it's merely a tool for lenders and other institutions to review before determining the need of a proper ESA report. Most environmental questionnaire forms do not require a signature. However, it's also not uncommon to see a signature block at the end of the form from time to time. The objective is just to hold those accountable for their answers. Nonetheless, all the questionnaires are required to be answered truthfully and in good faith. At the very least, a typical questionnaire requests information about the historical and current occupants of the property, the history and land use, utility service providers, and whether any prior environmental reports or concerns have ever taken place. If an environmental questionnaire indicates any risk at all, a comprehensive and property environmental site assessment report would be recommended. This includes transaction screen assessments, environmental desktop reports, and Phase 1 environmental site assessments. This form can also be requested by an environmental professional during an already ongoing assessment in order to cover all grounds. The Small Business Administration specifies its own requirements for an environmental questionnaire. To illustrate, the SBA Environmental Questionnaire can request information about an adjacent property as well as the subject site itself. For example, a residential property that is adjacent to a gasoline service station may still have a contamination migration issue, warranting further investigation. And SBA also advocates lenders to complete the form in good faith upon visiting a property. A user data request form, or a user data questionnaire, is a little different from an environmental questionnaire. Although the two forms may have some overlapping information, they should not be confused with one another. A Phase 1 ESA must include a user data request form to qualify for innocent landowner liability protection. This is a part of the Brownfield Revitalization Act of 2001. There are at least 4 parts to the standard user data request form. The first inquiry involves the potential knowledge of environmental cleanup liens against the site. The second question pertains to any knowledge of activity or land use limitations currently on site. The third inquiry involves specialized knowledge or experience of the person potentially seeking to qualify for the landowner liability protection. And lastly, the fourth question clarifies the relationship of the purchase price to the fair market value of the property. Failure to provide the user data request form information could disqualify an ESA report from the all-appropriate inquiry process. This video is brought to you by GeoForward. You can find us online for more information about environmental engineering reports and other related services.